Oh my God, hey. Ooh. I wanted to do this because, well, first I saw Julie over at Peekaboo Rose do it, and I just thought that she was so cute doing it. And then I must have missed this one by She Walks in Beauty, and I went back and saw them do it. Like watched them ramble about the questions, and I was like, one of my favorite tags in the beginning of not my YouTube journey, like on YouTube, but with watching YouTube and being a part of like the community and things like that, commenting where I could, my favorite all-time tag back in the day was that questions that nobody asks. Like, things that people don't know about you and that people probably wouldn't ask you, but you're gonna answer them anyway. The one thing that I was curious about in the beginning was like how to generate real conversations with people that are in the community. Like, you don't know these people, right? Like, I've formed so many good, what I feel like are good friendships within this community. And I mean, I hate to say it, but I may never meet these people like in real life. And that's sad, and it's just the way that it is with the being online and things. And I like the idea of the Q&A, but it's curious because I haven't done one. I love watching them. I love when people say, oh, I'm doing a Q&A, like drop your questions. I always felt like people, maybe, I don't know, maybe this is a thing, but I always felt like they were brave because I'm pretty open. Like, if I were to do a Q&A, I'd be pretty open. But I feel like on the flip side of that coin, who the hell is interested, like, really, to ask me a question about my life? Like, I guess I kind of felt like no one would care to ask me a question. Like, I don't know. Oh. I don't know if y'all can hear, but a storm's happening, which gets me giddy because I'm a storm witch, and it gets me giddy as hell. So, I had just finished watching She Walks in Beauty's tag video about this, and then the storm comes through, and I'm like, okay, I'm in the right energy for this, okay? So, anyway, that was the long preamble, wasn't it? Anyways, I love Q&As. I may do one on the channel when I get over the notion that nobody would care to ask me a question. I guess that's my fear. I guess I'll say this. I'll be brave and say this, that I'm scared that if I do say, oh, guys, let's do a Q&A, ask me some questions, no one would submit a question, and then it would almost validate the fact that no one gives a shit about me. Which, that's a human thing. It's a human condition to want to be liked, to want to be inquired about, but anyway, I'm pretty open. So we may do a real Q&A, like where you guys can ask me questions. I think that would be really fun. Who knows? I guess let me know if you would care enough to ask me a question. Just that. You don't have to ask a question, but just like if you would care to do a Q&A, you can let me know in the comments. Anyways, so I'll leave the questions below in the description box. I don't know what YouTube's doing lately, but they're doing this thing called transcripts where they basically transcribe your entire video. I don't know if the people do that or if YouTube's doing that, but it's annoying as hell. Okay, I go and I click the description box and I want to read through it or find a link and it says see transcription, and I'm like, what the hell is this? So I hope that my description box is what I write. Okay, and I will leave these 9 questions and 9 things that She Walks in Beauty wants to know. And their answers were so cute. I'm just so giddy about this. The first one is something that people don't know about you. You want the good, or you want the bad, you want the ugly. I bite my fingernails. Besides cussing, that's my worst habit. That's my worst habit. I gotta set my coffee down. Jeez. Okay. Number 2, a card in the tarot, what does this say? I paraphrase these questions. I always do that. And I feel like I get the prompts wrong. Card in the tarot that best fits you. Well, people may put what they think is me. I believe that my I don't know. Jeez. Shouldn't I have thought about this before we did this? I feel like I'm the king of cups. But then I also feel like I'm the page of wands in terms of court cards. But then I also feel like I am, like if I were a major arcana. Okay, so that's my court cards. But if I was a major arcana, I would probably be the temperance card. Which is so weird to say out loud. I'd probably be temperance. More specifically, art and thought. I would probably be that. If I was a major. In terms of like, you know, true self type thing. I don't know. And if I was a minor arcana, I would be in terms of like what my life is, like what it is on a day-to-day basis, like, you know, talking mundane stuff, I'd probably be the Nine of Pentacles. But also the Three of Pentacles. I'm in a pentacles. I'm in the pentacle sphere, okay? So I guess there were some tarot genres for you guys. One song on the soundtrack in your life. Okay, you guys, no. As someone that enjoys music more than TV, more than social media, that relies on music for so many things in my life, it is one of those things that I absolutely cannot live without, okay? So when we're talking about music, one song ain't gonna cut it, okay? I'm so sorry. If you, like, we can go through a timeline of Lennon's life and go, childhood song, Sunshine of Your Love by Cream, okay? Bless You, Eric Clapton. Sunshine of Your Love by Cream is my childhood song. Teenagehood, and I'll say probably 13 to 16, Usher all day, okay? Any damn thing he did. And then a little of, oh my God, a little Toni Braxton, which is like, her and Mary J. Blige wrote my teenage years. So, them. And then 18, I got married at 18 to my middle school sweetheart, so, you know, my life's been pretty boring. From 18 until mid-20s, I guess, the song, I moved away from R&B to alternative rock. So that song would be probably Shinedown, probably something by Shinedown. And I mean the older Shinedown, not the poppy shit that they come out with now. Probably the rendition that they did, the cover that they did of Simple Man. I know that doesn't really like relate to someone's life, but in terms of living a simple life and what those years were for me, it'd probably be that. It'd probably be something by Shinedown. You know, but like the hardcore Shinedown. And then 25 to where I am now, I think that the song that relates most to me, I guess, in my life is, I don't know. I want to say, I guess because I'm such a spiritual person, these last, like, you know, last decade, I want to say something along those lines, but it's even harder. It's even harder rock than it has been, but it's like I guess a blend. So it could be something by Falling in Reverse. It could be something by In This Moment. It could be something I love In This Moment. Okay, Maria Brink. But it could also be Florence and the Machine. I she's just like been the soundtrack for the last decade. I mean, she's just been so present in the last decade. But I've been kind of going back into the classical, like the instrumental, and so I could put one of those on there. I don't know. Music is just so high in my life, okay? It's just one of them things. But in terms of my life in general, like who I am true as a person, the song that I associate with myself and that everyone that I know knows me in person associates with me in terms of like who I am and in terms of personality, it would be Tiny Dancer by Elton John. So there you go. Actually, it's so cool because in that song, he says, lay me down in sheets of linen. And I know he's talking about the fabric, but Elton John says my name, you know, like, come on. So, it's just that the lyrics in the song and the way that he sings it is me. And everyone that I know has said that about me. So, Tiny Dancer, Elton John, to put one down. Childhood and adulthood crush. I didn't have any childhood crushes. I had a conversation with my dad who was really severe with his conversational tactics. It was more so like, you know, like the dad that grabs your shoulders and he's like, okay, we need to talk. Sit down. We're going to talk about this. And it's no holds barred type of a relationship that I have with my dad. So he had a really, I guess, like I said, no holds barred conversation with me about how celebrities are people, but that we're never going to meet these people and we need to stop putting them on pedestals. I feel like he had this conversation with me and my sister when we became to be what he called boy crazy. And like at a young age, I never really got me and her, we never really got like boy crazy. We're like squealing, band posters on the wall. We were not like that. Okay. We were not those girls. But we would see something and we would be so open about like saying, oh, they are hot. They are hot. You know, something like that. And then my dad would pause whatever it was, if it was a movie or something, and he'd be like, okay, we need to talk. So I guess through childhood and adolescence, we didn't have crushes. I didn't. But my first crush, the one that really, like, I felt like all encompassed me as a teenager. My first crush was Annie Lennox. You guys. There was something about her. I remember the first time I saw her. And it was never in person. Never seen her in person. I was at a neighbor's house, and the neighbors that I had was an elderly couple, right? And they took naps. And we were over there hanging out, and it was probably during the summer months or something. And the TV was on, and they fell asleep on the couch, right, while we were visiting. And it was just, an all the time kind of a thing. And me and my sister would like flip through the channels because we didn't really watch TV at home. If that wasn't a thing to have the TV on. So we would flip the channels, and we came upon MTV, and her sweet little ass was on there. And I remember going, oh my God, who is this? Like, and I remember thinking about her a lot and what she would be like in real life if she would have that gravelly voice. That's a thing with me. I have to have this kind of, almost like a voice like you would think that their vocal cords are shredded to hell. Like kind of deep, but kind of gravelly. I have a thing about that. I've always been like that. So I guess my very first crush where I thought about them in a real way, like how would they be in real life? And maybe not even in a romantic way. Oh, who am I kidding? Yes, in a romantic way. Okay, in a real romantic way. I thought about her. But more so in that I wanted to like meet her and be around her. And maybe I just vibed with her that way. I don't know. And then adult crush, I guess in terms of looks, because you don't know these person's personality. And I have such a thing about wanting to know people on a personal level. to be involved with them in that way. So that's always been like kind of like that wall there, like a brick wall. However, I will say that in just looks alone and what they do in terms of acting, Tom Hardy would be my go-to. Like all day. Tom Hardy. And can we just say that he did wonderful as Heathcliff in Wuthering Heights. Just fucking fantastic. So anyways, those are mine. One book that changed your life. Again, guys, how the hell do you expect a reader to narrow that shit down? I will say that one thing people don't know about me, but I did like point this out in a recent video, is I don't read self-help books. So all the books that would be on most people's list that help them through life, change their perspective, make them a millionaire, I don't read any of that shit. I will say though that in terms of perspective and in terms of like a book that you think about often, that you want to reference often, you want to keep looking up quotes, highlighting the shit out of the book to in terms of quotes and things. Poetry's always been my go-to for that. Reading poetry has ever since I learned how to read, that's been like the genre of books that will mainly get me into those different mindsets and things. But the Book of the Dead, the Egyptian Book of the Dead is a book that just blew my mind. The Greek Magical Papyri blew my socks off. In terms of, lightning. You gonna roll the thunder? Thunder rolls and the lightning strikes. I manifested that, y'all. Okay, so those are two. Again, we could do genres. Like, you want poetry, fiction, nonfiction, newspaper clipping. One thing you wish to bring back. Slip and slides. This was a staple in our summer home. Now, they still make them, but not like they used to. And I actually got my fat ass onto one a couple of summers ago. And with the adults on it, it rips, the rubber rips, and it's ruined after that, right? So I just loved, that was like my all-time favorite thing to do in the summer, was just to wet that damn thing down and slip on it. So I don't know, I guess I could make one up using a trash bag. God, I'm like showing my white trash here. I don't know. I feel like everything has its time. I feel like everything has its place in history, in terms of my own life, in terms of childhood. I loved stationery. I loved Lisa Frank. I loved Trapper Keepers. I loved to be organized. I loved, I had a thing about magazine clippings. Like, I was doing vision boards before I even knew that there was a thing. So I had a thing about magazines. And even though they're still around, that's just like something that I don't do anymore that I wish I did, was like do magazine clip vision boards. But not have an intention, just do it for the fun of it, But then there's like Tamagotchis, right? And then there's those things that you do in your hair now I've always had an enormous head of hair, okay? An enormous head of hair. So all those things that what I would consider hair jewelry that used to be a thing like in the 90s, I loved those things. Like things you could just clip in the hair, My dad, I don't know, he just always thought I was nuts because I just like always had something in my hair. A flower, a clip, an acorn. I just always had shit in my hair. Just wish it was fab to do that. Okay. No, that was the last one. What do you want to leave in this world when you die, I guess? When you die. Ever since I was a teenager, I've always wanted to public speak. And I don't know if that will ever happen. I guess technically I'm doing it now. But ever since I started my cycle, and I realized early on how much people that cycle weren't getting talked about it. And they weren't getting talked about how to be safe, how to live their life in a safe and happy way. And there were so many girlfriends throughout the years, just in passing, because I never really knew these girls on a deep level, because I had a thing about friendships where if you weren't a kindred spirit, you weren't in the world of linen. I just had this thing about me that if you're not in right here, if loyalty, okay, commitment to being friends, but a deep-seated loyalty, kindred spirit. One of those friends that you don't have to talk to every day. You can just talk to you once a year, and it's almost like you've never gotten off the phone with them. Those types of really deep relationships, I wanted those, and for the many friends I had, that they were all in passing. I didn't hang out with them after school and shit like that. It was just one of them things, I guess. I don't know. But in terms of leaving this world, I'd like to be able to have the opportunity to say my piece about living your best life and living what I consider your happiest life. What people think is important and what's not. What is not important. I always wanted to public speak about the people who have cycles, the people who, I guess because I relate to that, the taboo and the dogma around certain things about that, I wanted to be able to public speak about. Like I said, don't know if that'll ever be a thing, but that's just one thing that I think about sometimes. The last thing that you bought. I don't technically know if this counts, but my mom gave me money for something. I think it was gas money, because I did something, me and my husband did something for her. She shot us some gas money. And with that money, I didn't spend gas. Spend it on gas. There was a cotton kimono. I collect them. I collect robes and kimonos. That's just one of those things I collect. And I saw one that was cheap. It was really cheap to be a kimono. I do not spend money on things like that. Everything I own is secondhand. And I have several secondhand shops that I go to online. And I found one that was cheap for what it was. And I bought it with that gas money. And, I am not ashamed. Maybe I'll leave a little picture, a clip or something, here about that. But it's so beautiful. Oh, so happy that I did that, Okay, and the last question is so funny. Your rapper name. And you have to do Lil, L-I-L, and the last thing you drank. My rapper name, it's okay, the last thing I drank was French vanilla coffee, but I'm going to say Lil French vanilla. And no shit, that completely encompasses what I would be as a rapper. Little French vanilla. Light-skinned and sweet as fuck, I want to go one step further with this. It's not a number 10 question, but it's goes on the rapper name. The favorite thing that I had, I don't even know when this movie came out. I might have been a teenager or an older teenager, maybe even low 20s. When the Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood came out, I fell in love with that movie at a young, when it came out, I just was mesmerized by it. I loved it so much. And there was a website back in the day that you could go to and formulate your Yaya name, because, they had off the wall names. You guys, I've always wanted a group of friends that were like this. loyal. I mean, loyal down to your toes. And you all had weird names and you did like weird rituals at midnight in the woods. Like, I need some friends like this. Okay. And I got on and I generated my, Yaya name or whatever. And it what fit me to a T. Okay. My name was Queen Dancing Breeze. Dancing Breeze. For a wind witch, it will forever stick with me. I'll just always think of that. Queen Dancing Breeze. I don't even know if that website's still up. If I can find it, I'll leave it below. And if it's still up, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it is, but leave your Yaya name below. That'd be fun. And then check out the tag. Check out the tag. See who's doing it. I will leave She Walks in Beauty's channel link below. I hope you found this interesting, babe. And I don't know. I love question tags to get to know people like this. You know, we don't always have to talk about tarot and witchcraft and whatever the hell else I talk about on my channel, but it is what it is. So those were 9 things about me. I hope it was interesting. I hope this was fun just chatting with me for a little while. And hope to see everyone again on the channel. Like, share, subscribe, whatever. I never said that before. Have I ever said that? Anyway, much love, people.